From the endless void beyond the known galaxy, the Tyranids come to consume all life. They are a threat on an unimaginable scale to man and alien alike. Hello and welcome to this Warhammer 40k Tyranid White Dwarf edition video. So, here they are. I've just got mine and been looking through, skimming it really, through the White Dwarf to see what I can find about Tyranids, and there is a lot. And there are full double page spreads and lovely pictures. Now I won't show you a lot just in case any Games Workshop legal team has a go at me for it, but this is what I found so far. So taking a look at the first big creature you see in the White Dwarf is the Harpy. Now it states that the Harpy's scream is a mind-scrambling herald of its true intent: to destroy enemy troops from above with the repulsive weapon symbiote known as the Stranglethorn Cannon. So from this, what's implied really is it has either a twin-link Stranglethorn Cannon or two separate Stranglethorn Cannons, and possibly has an ability like one of the new Eldar flyers, which essentially has a minus effect to enemy models' leaderships, or makes them do a morale check. So next is the Hive Crone, and it states in the White Dwarf that swooping on leathery pinions through spore-choked skies, the Hive Crones remorselessly hunt enemy aircraft. So like the Tau, we have one flyer built for killing troops and one for enemy aircraft. There was rumour that these two flying monstrous creatures couldn't be grounded, but there's nothing to suggest that in the battle report in this White Dwarf, or it's just speculation at the moment. The next big creature we see in the White Dwarf is the Horospex. Now it states that it's a true harbinger of imminent extinction. The Horospex is deployed in the latter stages of the Tyranid incursion to consume biomass at a sickening rate. So, basically, it's the hungry hippo of the Tyranids world. Now, I was really interested to see what this could do. This new creature, I like the look of it. It's different. It's very different to other Tyranid models, but they didn't use it in the White Dwarf battle report. What they did use in the battle report is a new Exocrine model, or Exocrine, however you want to pronounce it. And in the White Dwarf it states it's a living artillery platform that rains down deadly bioplasmic blasts on enemy armour, which is interesting, and I'll go over what the weapon strength is a little bit later when I talk about the battle report. Moving on through the White Dwarf, they have Hive Guard, which just have different weapons. It looks like now you can have the old weapon and the new weapon, and the new weapon gives you Skyfire, is what is suggested. The new Tyrant Guard. There they are with Swarmy. They look a bit bigger in their shoulders and head slightly a bit chunkier, but I guess if they're bodyguards they have to kind of get in the way of things. And then you have the Tyranid Warriors, which will be exactly the same. Whether they're going to be viable in this edition, I don't know. I don't have any Tyranid Warriors, so whether it's worth getting a Prime. Where you can see that, but he's basically got bigger carapace on his head, goes up a bit, and his shoulders, they go up a bit like that, just to show he's the big bad boy. And then yeah, just talking a little bit more about them, and then Gene Stealers, and then just showing what you can get on their website as well. Oh, a quick note, in the White Dwarf they have a tiny picture of some of the psychic cards that the Tyranid have had available to them, because they have their own psychic abilities they can take. And using the magnifying glass I could kind of work out that the Primaris power is Dominion, which adds an extra 6 inches to their synapse range. And another one is the Warp Blast, which has 2 types, like before. One is a Strength 5 AP3 Blast, and the other is a Strength 10 AP2 Lance. And now onto the big feature of the White Dwarf, the battle report. Little problem with it. It's fluffy, it's narrative, it's not a typical game of Warhammer 40k. Before I get on to that, I'll just say the Jez, whoever Jez is playing as Tyranids, and he's put in the little description bit a few tidbits so you can see why he's chosen some of the models he's chosen. So he's got Swarmlord, and Swarmlord is now a level 3 Psyker, and he talks about some of the psychic powers he's got. And one of them is Catalyst, who he says is an extremely handy blessing which confers Feel No Pain on the Swarmlord and its unit, plus another within 12 inches. Not bad. Feel No Pain isn't bad. Tough, because he has taken Tyrant Guard with him. And the Exocrine, you can deliver a Strength 7 AP2 Large Blast, or 6 shots at the same strength and AP. Now my little problem that I have with it is, so that is what he uses. A monster mash. Nid's Zilla army looks great, except he's 3,180 points, and he uses a Hyrule, which is 535 points from the Apocalypse Forge World range. So it's not a typical battle or force, and he states that basically we'd ignore force organisation chart in our attempt to put all our favourite heavies on the table. So it's a showcase of these models, but not a good representation of how they're used in the game. Fairly. So what he's got is the Swarmlord, which has Catalyst, Warp Blast and Psychic Scream at 285. Now I'm thinking 285 is its base stat, and it can't be upgraded in any way. Then he has 2 Tyrant Guard with Scything Talons and Crushing Claws at 140 points. Tervagon is also in the HQ unit slot. Crushing Claws and Onslaught Psychic Powers, 210 points. So suggesting it's still a level 1 Psyker. Crushing Claws isn't much different, so it's already got 210 points though. Then he's got a Hive Tyrant with a heavy Venom Cannon, the Horror and Onslaught Psychic Powers. So he's got a Hive Tyrant on his own. That's 185 points. That seems a little cheaper to me than the previous edition. I haven't got my codex on hand. And then he has a Hive Tyrant with 2 Twin Link Devourers and Brainleech Worms, Wings and Paroxysm and Psychic Scream. 230 points. And the final one is Old One Eye as a HQ, 220. And then has a Venom Throat, which is 45 in the Elite section. In No Troops, in the Fast Attack, he has the Hive Crone, which is the anti-air flying monstrous creature at 155 points. And also has a Harpy with twin-linked Strangleform cannons, 135 points. 135 points for a flying monstrous creature. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. consider that. Then the heavy supports. 5 of them. 3 Carnifexes. 2 with double twin-linked Devourers with Brain Leech Worms. 1 with Stranglethorn Cannon. Now this is in a unit of their own. 435 points. That's less than 150 points each. That sounds quite good. Although if I was taking Old One Eye, I'd probably want to take a Brood of 2, have them put in front of Old One Eye, so that it would look cool. I couldn't join the units, but it would look cool. A Trigon Prime, which is a heavy support, not a HQ, as it was suggested that Trigon Primes could be in some of the rumours. That's 230 points. Exocrine, the one with the big gun, 170 points. A Tyrannifex with Rupture Cannon, 205 points. And the Hyrule, which is 535 points. Now they are going against Tau, the big bad army that's out there right now. Tau, who's dominating the field. And in my gaming experience in my local area, with all the new codexes that have come out in 6th edition, demons, they started okay, but not a lot of people play them anymore. Chaos Space Marines, iffy. Dark Angels, I don't see anyone playing them really. Eldar, that I play, doing very well. Space Marines and Tau. Now the Tau dominating. Space Marines are a little better, and they've got different variations and options you can do with them, which is nice. So let's see how they do against the Tau, which, again, it's more of a Farsight Enclave list. There's no Fire Warriors and it's all battle suits, so it's interesting. They've got Farsight at 165 points. A 3-man Crisis Suit team, 215. With fusion blasters and plasma rifles. Another 3-man Crisis Suit team, 215. Another 3-man Crisis Suit team with missile pods and plasmas and fusions. A Riptide, Iron Accelerator, Stimulant Injector and Early Warning Override. Riptide, exactly the same. Riptide, which has 2 shielded missile drones as well. And there's 2 players on the Tau. The second player has a Battlesuit Commander with Fusion Blasters and Shield Generator, 2 Crisis Bodyguards, Shield Generators Fusion, 3 Crisis Suit Battlesuits with Burst Cannons and Plasma, a Crisis Battlesuit with Flamer and Twin Linked Flamer, Riptide, 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 Ion, and missile drones and a Gatling gun thingy with Bobby that it had. Fast attack, 1 flyer, Sunsharp Bomber, 2 broadside battle suits with twin linked plasma rifles, and a broadside battle suit with twin linked plasma rifle. 1484 points, 1512 points, rough calculation. 1909, 2,996. So not only are they taking force organisation charts out the window, the Tau army has less points, which they could have had a few fire warrior units or a Pathfinder units just to help this Tau army. So, following this, they then say, oh, we wanted it to be interesting. So what they've done is added shield generator nodes. So basically 3 shield generators they've got on the field that the Tau are defending. Great narrative, it's good, you should do that. But again, it's not one of the missions you play in the book, which is what a lot of people will be playing, and you can't really tell how accurate it is on the battlefield. They played on a board like this. Deployment, Tyranids, and the Tower Monsters. It seemed to go back and forth, back and forth. First turn, Tyranids went first. They didn't do anything shooting-wise. Turn 2, though, it seemed everything of the Tyranids came in. Flyers, Trigon Prime, Deep Striking in. The Hierodule absorbed a lot of shots, so it allowed the rest of the monsters to go up. But that's kind of what happens when you have a Nidzilla list. As soon as the Tyranids hit the Tau, Riptides, and various models, the Tau went bye-bye, and Farsight came in at the end of the battle and basically just got slaughtered by the Swarm Lord. By the end of it, it seemed there was only Swarm Lord, a couple of Carnifexes, one or even both the flying monstrous creatures, and not a lot of the Crisis suits left. But because the Tyranids couldn't destroy the Tau outright or the shield generators, the result was a draw. It looks like they had fun, but again, it's not a true representation of how they would play. However, if the Tyranids were to come out and were a bit rubbish and couldn't beat Tau or a lot of other armies, and they wouldn't put that in the White Dwarf because then no one would buy the new models, would they? But the models look great, and it's good to see a Nidzilla list. The only way I found worked well for me was the Doom Malantai, Mycetic Spore, boom, swarm with a couple of monsters just advancing up. Now it looks like you can use a lot of swarms and a lot of monsters, either separate, together, or separate. New psychic powers is always going to be interesting, see how well they are for the Tyranid. And one of my favourite bits, because I love the painting, is the paint splatter section, where they've got some good tips on how to paint High Fleet Leviathan models, Behemoth, and Kraken. So the main 3 factions of the Nids, and how they paint them in batches and stuff like that to finish it off. So that's the White Dwarf, featuring some of the Tyranids. I get it, just to see about the models and the paint splatter, but the battle report is more fluffy and doesn't really hold a lot of information about the new models, really. Oh, as I said, this weekend, January 11th, is when the Tyranids come out, and I pre-ordered my codex yesterday, or Saturday, as soon as it came out Saturday. When I clicked, there was a bit of a problem. There was an error. My money has gone out, but I haven't had a confirmation yet, so I'm trying to get hold of customer services to find out if I will get my codex on Saturday. If it hasn't arrived via post, then it may delay my Tyranids week. But I will be doing 7 straight days of videos from around the 12th or the 14th onwards, so keep a lookout for that. In the meantime, hit subscribe, like, comment and share my videos across YouTube and the world, and I will see you on the next video.